Okay. Hi, Elizabeth. So I read your message regarding as to why I strongly teach against feasting outside of the land. And I will explain to you why. First, sorry for seeing these messages as my aunt. So first of all, you need to understand that the Torah observers, they don't fully like follow the full instruction. Okay, that's what Torah actually means. It means also bullseye is to follow the full instruction of what Jehovah has called us all to do. And for example now, I don't know if you actually, maybe I didn't read it through because I wanted to make a video for you first. Because it would be much more easier than for me to type things out. So let's see. So I do not know if you came from a Christian church, but for most people who come actually from the Christian church, because the curse has been lifted, now people have finally opened their eyes that some see that the Christian church has lied to the people, and that they are supposed to keep the 10 Commandments, Sabbath not on a Sunday but on a Saturday, dawn to dawn, as Exodus 16 is actually talking about. And you can see that again in Exodus 19. So the thing that what happens is that when a Christian, an apostate Christian, comes from a Christian church, right? What have they been taught? Do not do the 10 Commandments because they are a burden, right? They are self-righteous works, but we know that they are not, because it is God, it is Jehovah who created them. It is his finger that wrote them on those stones. And after that also added, after they transgressed the 10 Commandments, added the sacrificial law. But that was actually written by Moses. So what they are taught there is to do the Christmas, the Easter, the Lent, the, even Valentine's Day, they do it. Christians are worldly people. They are literally worldly people because they also follow worldly things. They follow the worldly kind of holidays as well, Ascension Day and everything like that. They celebrate that, all of that. And most of all, they profane the Sabbath because they go on a Sunday, right? They go on a Constantine decree under the disguise that they think that Jesus said that, every day is my rest. But he never said it. He never said it like that. So, so then when they finally realize, we are not doing well, we're not worshiping God well or following God's commandments, because they think, the Trinity is legit. They think that Jesus is God, which again, they blaspheme the name of God. They blaspheme the name of the Son. So then they go from the left, which is a Christian church, to the right. So that's Ezekiel 4. They go to the right, that is meaning the Torah observers. However, the Torah observers have been taught by the Judaic, the Jews, the tribe of Judah, who are in the state there, because those are actually the Jews. They have been taught the Babylonian Sabbath, the Saturday dusk to dusk. Okay, according to scripture, even according to the Dead Sea Scrolls and Jubilees, even Genesis, the day itself, when you look up in the Strongs, the day itself is actually reckoned when the sun comes up. That is the light that rules the great day, the greater light, that rules the day. So we are not called to be children of the night, but we are called to be the children of daylight. That does not mean go and worship the sun. That's not what I'm saying. but the first light that starts even before the sun starts. And, that's a very, very nice, like, nugget and cross reference to Yeshua being the Word of God created, right? Created before all things, meaning it's the Word. Like, it's really the Word. But okay, I'm sorry. Going on a tangent. I don't mean to do so. So then, actually, I'm screen recording. So then I have here some of the verses, and there are actually a lot of them. I really have a lot of them. I will try to go through all of them. But if I cannot, it's just that my storage isn't as much as it used to be, and I'm trying to fix that. But then the Torah, so they go from another feast religion to from another feast religion to another feast religion. So no Christmas and Easter. Okay, so how are we gonna feast? How are we gonna celebrate? How are we gonna party? Oh, okay, through these kind of feasts. So then this happens, then the Torah observers, like you, for example, would show all the other scriptures, but as the one that you gave me, Leviticus 23, which I will go through as well, you forget that it is still not according to the full instruction. So, Exodus 12, let me see if I'm not missing anything else. I think I'm not missing anything else. Okay. And it shall come to pass when ye be come to the land. It's talking about Israel, talking about Jerusalem. Sorry for the noise. So it shall come to pass that when ye come to the land, which Jehovah will give you according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. And that was about Passover. Okay? So that is when they are in the land, you keep this service. And it shall come to pass, again, when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye with this service? That the parents then would actually teach the children about what God did to the Egyptians. So you can just read that yourself here. It's just to spare some time. So, let me see if there is a bit more. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. So, the children of Israel were supposed to actually teach the strangers to literally circumcise their heart to keep the Ten Commandments. But as they did not do it, the strangers, the heathens, they did not do it themselves. So I'm just trying to see if I have really... Okay, so then 13, again, it says the same thing. This day came ye out in the month Abib, and it shall be when Jehovah shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, right? Because at that time the Canaanites inhabited, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, which ye swear unto thy fathers to give thee, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, and thou shalt keep this service this month. Okay, that's the whole full story. He says here, still in the land. The land. Which land is it? It's not America. It's not Europe. It's not China. It's not, like anywhere in Asia or whatsoever, but it actually is in Israel, where he placed his name. So now let's go to Deuteronomy 12. So of course, I do recommend, read just the whole chapters, but just going over the things, for time's sake. But I'm going to start here from beginning. So these are the statutes and the judgment which ye shall observe to do in the land. It's actually good I didn't even highlight that. In the land which Jehovah God of thy fathers giveth thee, to possess it, all the days that ye live upon the earth. Okay? So ye shall utterly destroy all places wherein the nations which ye shall possess served their gods upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree. So this is talking about the Christmas tree that they were actually already doing there. You know, that's Nimrod, and actually Nimrod's penis. You know, the Christmas tree or anything else. But you know, I think by now you would know this, since you came out of that. So when they will go into the land, they were first to destroy those graven images, the nations, you know, that serve their God like that. They were called to first purify the land itself, and then to actually feast. That was the whole deal, actually. So you can see it. You shall overthrow their altars, you know, break the pillars, burn the groves with fire, graven images, destroy the names of them out of that place. You shall not do so unto Jehovah your God, but unto the place which Jehovah your God shall choose. Oh, now, so he chose somewhere, right? Out of all your tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and thither shall thou come. So this is a very crucial one, in a place that he chose, and put his name. So let's see. Just skimming over, you should eat, okay. Okay, so here then, verse 8. You shall not do after all the things that we do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes, because that is what the Torah observers are doing now. They're doing what is right in their own eyes, feasting, instead of actually going into the house of mourning, but I'll go into that later. For ye are not as yet come to the rest, and to the inheritance, which actually this is also prophetically meaning New Jerusalem. Okay? We, like everyone on this earth, who is even in Israel or outside of Israel, who believe in the name of Jehovah and who keep the 10 commandments and who eat clean, we have all not yet come into the rest or into our inheritance, which is New Jerusalem. That is our inheritance, which is where he placed his name. So we are not supposed to do what is right in our own eyes, but we are supposed to keep the full instruction according as to what he said, not to what we think is right, or going to the schoolmaster, the whole letter of the law, you know, which is the sacrificial law, but we should literally keep the whole full instruction. And we already should know that the sacrificial law is done away with through the Messiah. I mean, what else did he come to do there? So, but when you go over Jordan, okay, and dwell in the land which Jehovah your God giveth you to inherit, right? It's just talking about that land now, in that time. And when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about. Now, when they crossed over to the Jordan, they were still not in rest. They had to fight. Even in the days of David, they had to fight, right? From all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety, right? That means that we should not be fighting anymore. Then we are actually in true peace. Then there shall be a place which Jehovah your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. So thither shall you bring all that I command you, and your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and the heave offerings, and your hand, and all your choice vows, which ye vow unto Jehovah. Now he says here again, choose to cause his name to dwell there. So where did he put his name? Where did he place his name? That is what then the focus should be. So then verse 13, he says it very, very, very clearly. Take heed to thyself that thou offer not thy burnt offerings, like even just the feasting, in every place that thou seest. Okay? Don't feast in every place that you seest. Don't burn offerings in every place that you seest. Okay? There you go. But in the place which Jehovah shall choose in one of thy tribes, there thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, and there shalt thou do all that I command thee. That is in the land in Israel. Okay? And this scripture is used by the Torah observers to literally say that they can do what they want, which again, it's not true. Let's see. Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the thighs and the corns, etc., which thou vowest, and nor thy freewill offerings or heave offerings of thine hand, but thou must eat them before Jehovah thy God in the place, which Jehovah thy God shall choose, and thou and thy sons and thy daughters and thy manservants, maidservants, and Levites, that is within thy gates. And thou shalt rejoice before Jehovah thy God in all that thou puttest thine hand. So again, in the place that he chooses, not how we choose, but he chooses. So take heed to thyself that thou forsake not the Levite, as long as thou livest upon the earth. Now, let's see. Verse 28. Observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee forever, when thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of Jehovah thy God. So according to his way. So let's see more. This is about the graven images, which is the Christmas, so we don't need to read that. Oops. So then we go to chapter 16. I think that's where it is. Here. Same thing. 16. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto Jehovah thy God, for in the month of Abib Jehovah thy God brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Jehovah thy God of the flock and the herd in the place which Jehovah shall choose to place his name there. And that is Jerusalem. That is not, again, in America. That's not in Europe. That's not in Asia. That's not in Africa. That is in Israel, in Jerusalem. So then, verse 5, thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates. Okay? Any in thy gates, which Jehovah thy God giveth thee, but at the place which Jehovah thy God shall choose to place his name in there. Thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, because that's how the feast starts, not the Sabbath, just the feast, the high Sabbath. It's a very difference. At the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. Okay? Let's see if there is anything else. 15. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto Jehovah thy God in the place which Jehovah shall choose, again, because Jehovah thy God shall bless thee in all thine increase and in all the works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. Now, we don't have the temple anymore, and that is true. But what does also the scripture say is that God doesn't dwell in temples made by hands, but he dwells in temples made by his hand, which is the people. Now, the people have to keep, of course, the 10 Commandments first. The Spirit of God will then be upon them, which is the Spirit of truth. Then they become a temple that is built by his hands. If they don't keep it, they are not Holy Spirit filled, but they're just in a strong delusion. So that's the Christian church that we have now. And even actually some of the Torah observers have the same thing. Yep, and that's about the Christmas tree again. So then, let's go to then Leviticus 23. Okay. So Leviticus 23. The Sabbath day is dawn to dawn, is not dusk to dusk, and it is a feast. That is very much true. I hope I can find actually a scripture in Jubilees regarding that, proving that for you. So it is the feast, the Passover, all the other Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, all of that. Those are actually the things that start at evening, but not the Sabbath. That is the one that doesn't start at evening. They are high Sabbaths, that is true. So you need to actually distinguish what the high Sabbath is. And in this case, actually, it is talking about the high Sabbath, which is the feast days. Okay. Let's see. Wait. So let me see, where is it? Okay, yeah, 10. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land, again, into the land, which I gave unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf and the first fruit of your harvest unto the priest. Oh, that's very interesting. And he shall weave the sheaf before Jehovah, and to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath. That's interesting. In the morning the Sabbath ends. So then when does the Sabbath begin? In the morning, which is dawn to dawn. So the priest shall wave it. So I hope that kind of makes sense. But I will go into the Exodus 16 later on. So you went to this part. So also on the 10th day of this 7th month there shall be a day of atonement, right? That's the Day of Atonement. It's talking about the Day of Atonement. And it shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto Jehovah. Now, I also want to first say this before I continue. We are not supposed to read the scriptures carnally anymore, but we are supposed to read them spiritually. So if you don't understand what spiritually the Day of Atonement means, or Yom Kippur, or Sukkot, Passover, Sabbath, then exactly just that. It is because, I mean, just like the Christian church, they read the Bible and only mostly in the New Testament, and they only go into the Old Testament only when they want to hear something good, like from the Psalm or from the Proverbs, or they just want to insult people because they have been caught in a lie. Then they go to the Old Testament. Then they go to the things like, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and things like that. But they do not go actually to how God tells them how he wants to be loved. They only go to the good stuff, to the ear-tickling stuff. But the Torah observers do the same thing as well. So, in order then to read the scriptures now better, is that, if we understand the earthly things now, like Yeshua says, then we'll be able to understand the heavenly things, which is prophecy, spiritually, the parables, everything like that. Then we'll be finally able to understand that and not take it literally, like both the left and the right. So then verse 28, and ye shall do no work in the same day, for it is the day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before Jehovah your God. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not afflict in that day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that day, in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. And ye shall do no manner of work, and it shall be a statute forever. Shall be a statute forever throughout your generation in all your dwellings. Yeah, but that all their dwellings is when they actually enter into the land. Okay? That's like the whole clear, full instruction. When you go into the land, in all your dwellings, you keep the Sabbath. In all your dwellings, you listen to the full instruction of the Torah. You go to the place where Jehovah has chosen for you to go, so that you may then, keep the Passover, all the other feast, where he placed his name. So, then we go to, where did he place his name? 2 Chronicles, I think 6 actually. So this is where David wanted to make a temple for God, but actually God told him, don't make me a temple, because he will build his own temple, which he was talking about the people, not about a literal temple, or little temples, tabernacles, but actually his people. However, David still insisted, I guess, and still did it. So what does God do? Out of that, he makes an example of how he will make obviously a temple. But where will that temple actually then be? Where will it actually then be, when they come together? They become like a bigger temple, if that kind of makes sense. Where will they go when they are in the land of their inheritance, in rest and safety? Where will they go to then start to do the feasts, right? Because they're not in captivity anymore. It says here then, but I have built an house of habitation for thee, and a place for thy dwellings forever. Right? That's Solomon. Because he's the one who made that. So then, excuse me. Let's see. Since the day that I brought forth my people out of the land of Egypt, I chose no city among all the tribes of Israel. He chose no city, among them, to build an house in, that my name might be there. Neither chose I any man to be a ruler over my people in Israel. Okay? But I have chosen Jerusalem. Yay, well, look at that. It's Jerusalem. That my name might be there. Okay? And have chosen David to be over my people. We know this is prophetically talking about Yeshua, who is now over his people. So who are his people? Those are those actually who keep the 10 Commandments, who eat clean, and who fulfill the royal law. Royal law is Leviticus 19:15-18. So let's see. But Jehovah said to David my father, for as much as it was in thine heart to build an house for my name, thou didst well in that it was in thine heart. Okay, he did well that it was in his heart. Notwithstanding, thou shalt not build the house. Okay, that's what he said. But thy son, which shall come forth out of thy loins, he shall build the house for my name. Right? So that's Solomon who built the house. Not we. Yeah. I'm trying to find more scripture about at least the name. Sorry. I think maybe... Sorry, that was my mom. Trying to find... I think it's this one. At 32. Moreover, concerning the stranger which is not of thy people Israel, but is come from a far country for thy great name's sake, and thy mighty hand and thy stretched out arm, if they come and pray in this house, then hear thou from the heavens, even from thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee, for that all people of the earth may know thy name, and fear thee as doth thy people Israel, and may know that this house which I have built is called by thy name. See, and if thy people go out to war against their enemies by the way that thou shalt send them, and they pray unto thee towards this city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. This is actually Solomon speaking, I think. Let's see. So we know that where what he was speaking about, in thy name, built in thy name, that is about Jerusalem. That is about at least the temple that was built in Jerusalem. However, it's not fully the temple, the building itself, because then the Bible will be contradicting itself. So then we go to 33. Oh, there you go, verse 4. Also he built an altar in the house of Jehovah, wherefore Jehovah hath said, in Jerusalem shall my name forever be forever. Okay, so this is not talking actually. It's not talking actually about the temple. Here he's actually talking about the place that he chose and put his name, like Deuteronomy 12 is talking about in 16. Okay. Then again, and he set a carved image, the idol which he had made in the house of God, of which God hath said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen before all tribes in Israel, will I put my name forever. So in this house and in Jerusalem, right, will he put his name forever. Now the temple is broken down, it's there no more, right? And we know that the Holy of Holies, like the Spirit God being in there, it is gone. Even if they would build now that temple that they said that will be building, God will not be dwelling in there at all, because Yeshua did away with the sacrificial law, with the schoolmaster. So that doesn't apply anymore. And I think that you have seen the news, right, about the house of Judah and Benjamin, who are in the state of Israel, trying to build a temple again. Now, why do I say that they are the ones? Because I see that by the way that you speak with the name Yahuwah, Yahushua. I do not know exactly, but I can already kind of understand that you think that maybe those who are in the land are not the true Israelites. If that is the case, you may think that you are from the real true Hebrew Israelites or Israelites. Well, prophecy still does not go well for those of the tribe of Judah and Benjamin who are the right. If you read the prophecy in Ezekiel 4, talking about the house of Israel and the house of Judah, they were separated. So the house of Israel went and did the Christmas thing and Easter. They went into captivity, but they never came back. Okay. And then you have the tribe, the house of Judah, who never fulfilled the royal law on their brothers and sisters, the house of Israel, which prophecy says that they will be severely punished for it. And also, they will be actually going into great tribulation. Some who were ignorant of this will probably go into the second Exodus, and there they will be, again, purified by God. And that will be if they will not start to murmur with, oh, we should feast here because that's what the scriptures say, but they're not in the land, and the land has not been purified, and New Jerusalem has not come back, they will be severely punished. So I'm just saying that. So for now, that's actually kind of what I have. So let's go to then Lamentation 2:5-7. Jehovah was an enemy, as he hath swallowed up Israel, he hath swallowed up all her places. He hath destroyed his strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. Okay? This is what Judah should have done. This is what the tribe, the house of Judah and Benjamin should have done, is mourning. Now mourning ties in with Ezekiel 2:3-33, and that is to become a watchman and to warn the people by teaching them the mercy of God, which is the 10 Commandments. Ezekiel 20, you will find in there, for showing mercy unto those who love me and keep my commandments, and to teach them to eat clean, and to teach them to, again, fulfill the royal law, teach others to do so. So instead of stoning, we fulfill the royal law. That was the whole thing. But they did not do so. So Jeremiah 3-9 is written for the tribe of Judah and Benjamin, which is the house of Judah, which is the southern kingdom, is written unto them for them to be, because they are treacherous. the treacherous Judah. Okay, but of course, most of that is influenced by the evil family. So, and I hope I know I'm saying maybe a lot, but yeah, just reach out to me, really. And there are many other sisters and brothers like me who are in the United States with you that can call you, that you can call to, and then can speak with them even better with them. Okay, and he hath violently taken away what? His tabernacle. That is an idiom for feasting, like the feast of Sukkot. And if it were as if it were from a garden. He hath destroyed his places of the assembly, and Jehovah hath caused the solemn feasts, and Sabbaths, which are actually the high Sabbaths, all right, to be forgotten in Zion, and hath despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priests. Jehovah hath cast off his altar, right? He hath abhorred his sanctuary. He hath given up into the hand of the enemies the walls of her palaces. Okay, so they are like going into captivity in Babylon. That's what's going to happen. And they have made a noise in the house of Jehovah as if the day of a solemn feast, which he took away. Okay. Then we go to Amos 5:21. I hate and I despise your feast days. Okay, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. And he says here, your feast days. Okay, it's your feast days. It's not his. Why? Because when he took away the feast days, he took away the calendar from them as well. So we do not know the right calendar as to do the feast days. We literally don't. Because also the pure language, you need the pure language in order to actually find the true calendar, which the pure language has not been restored, which we'll go through again. But you need that to be able to restore the pure calendar as well. Now the calendar has been polluted with all types of pagan names in Israel, in the land, which now people go to and keep a polluted feast and Sabbath there. And it's just horrible. Just really horrible. So they are profaning his feast. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, and I will not accept them. He will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Now, spiritually speaking, we know now that the sacrifices are not literally slaughtering the lambs and bulls and stuff. We know that now the sacrifices is actually the communication of the lips, is actually to fulfill the royal law. That is what actually the sacrifice is now. We know that the burning of incense is prayer. That's the idiom. So, actually I was wondering, which translation do you read? Do you read those Hallelujah scriptures or something? I'm just wondering. So peace offering of your fat beast. He will not accept any of those things. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols. Okay, this is what he desires, but let judgment run down as waters. He's speaking here, right? The waters. He's speaking here about Exodus 17:5-7, Exodus 19 as well, which is the covenant that he made there while the water was gushing out at Mount Horeb, which then he gave the 10 Commandments to the children of Israel. So when he gave the 10 Commandments to the children of Israel, they said that they would do it which then they transgressed by building the golden calf in Exodus 32 at Mount Sinai. Okay, so that water that he's here talking about is actually idiomatic for the Ten Commandments. Psalm 105, 41 to 42 speaks very, very amazingly about it. But actually, it's you can read like the whole psalm, and it's really just amazing. And righteousness, Deuteronomy 6:25, which is again regarding about the Ten Commandments. There were no chapter breaks at that time. So Deuteronomy 5, the Ten Commandments, as a mighty stream. So the judgment that he was here talking about is the Leviticus 19:15 to 18. To rebuke your neighbor from sin, that's how you show love, by literally giving righteous judgment. So, now we know that verse 26 and verse 27 here, Stephen in Acts 7, at the end, he's quoting that. Bye. So, let's go to 8:10. And I will turn your feast into mourning. Actually, he already did that, but he would turn their feast again. It's literally their feast, because God, when he speaks something, is very quite specific. Their feast into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins, and baldness upon every head, and I will make it as the mourning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. A bitter day. So that kind of makes me think of Great Tribulation. But okay. Behold, the days come, saith Jehovah God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, right? But the hearing of the words of Jehovah. And that is literally, that will happen. Like, that will literally happen. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Jehovah, and shall not find it. Now we know, like verse 10, this is what he says. He would take away the feast, turning into mourning, turning them into lamentation. And that's actually even like what he prefers to do. Like that's what he wants. Now I'm wondering, am I forgetting any other scripture? Because then I will go into Jubilees. But first, Exodus 16, 21 to 26. But I will go to Jubilees as well. Okay. Oops, the 7. Yep. So I'm trying to find. I'll just start from I think 20 is good to start. Or, yeah, 20. So, and do thou command the children of Israel to observe these festival in all their generation for a commandment unto them. One day in the year, in this month, they shall celebrate the festival. For it is the Feast of Weeks, and the Feast of First Fruits, the feast in twofold and a double nature, according to what is written and engraved concerning it, celebrate it. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shalt celebrate it in its season. Okay, one day in the year, and I explained to thee its sacrifice, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generation in this month, one day in every year. Right? Celebrate them throughout their generation in the land where he chose to place his name forever. Right? When they are in the inheritance, then they will celebrate it. That's how you read the full instruction. You really take everything together, and you don't just listen to one thing and you ignore the other. So, and on the new moon, on the first month, of the first month, and the new moon of the 7th month, and the new moon on the 10th month, and that are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4th division of the year. These are written as an ordinance, as a testimony forever. And Noah ordained them for himself as a feast for the generation forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. Now I lost kind of my place. And on the new moon of the 10th, and on the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on this account he ordained them for himself as a feast for a memorial forever. And thus are they ordained. And they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 13 weeks. For one to another passed their memorial, for the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. And all the days of the commandment will be 52 weeks of days, and these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tablets, and there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year, or for year to year. And command thou children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning 364 days. And these will constitute a complete year, and they will not disturb its time, for its days, and for its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day, nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disrupt all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order, and they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. Okay, verse 33, very clear, because what happened is that the children of Israel did not keep the feast at all when they were in the land. No, they went after the Christmas Nimrod, the Christmas that today is being celebrated, the winter solstice demigod celebration of Jesus. So, and also the tribe of Judah did then also the same thing. Sorry, I have a hair. So both of them actually, first the tribe of Israel, they literally polluted the feast. They didn't keep it, and they went after other gods, and thereby God took away those feasts. And actually, when they were doing that, what actually then the southern kingdom did, they just went and did nothing about it. They did literally nothing about it. So, let's continue. And all the children of Israel will forget, right? All the children of Israel will forget, and I will not find the path of the years. And will not find the path of the year, and will forget the new moons, the seasons, and the Sabbath, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto thee. And it is not for my own devising, for the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets and the division of days. Just need to stretch my back. Days ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles after their error and after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observation of the moon, how it disrupt the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day, which is happening now. That's what is happening now. Torah observers and the Jews, they are all doing feast on an unclean day and calling that a feast in an unholy land, because there are still some temples going on there. Other gods are there being worshipped. It's disgusting. And they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disrupt them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons, to the and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. Okay, so right here, he literally just took away the feasts. He took them away. Again, just read the whole chapter. Of course, I just read a little bit the end because I wanted to get to the point, and I really need to save some space. Yes. So, what else did I want to show before then? That is Ecclesiastes 7. And this is what Yehovah rather has. So a good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. Verse 2, it is better to go to the house of mourning, so what he was speaking about in Amos 8:10, I think, than to go to the house of feasting. Okay, both the left and the right, okay, they want to feast. You guys want to feast. So they both want to feast. Also, I'm going to put this video online for people to see. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Then again, sorrow is better than laughter. Okay, mourning is better than feasting. So actually, what is being said here? For by the sadness of the countenance of the heart is made better. Verse 4, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Now, if by any chance you think, oh, but this is maybe talking about the Feast of Atonement, no, it's not. It actually is not. Or even like if it is, then wait until New Jerusalem comes, and then you can do the Day of Atonement, or Passover, or anything that makes you want to cry. If that kind of makes sense, because that's the whole thing. I did the feast, but it just did not yet feel right, and God showed me this through the brothers and sisters, and He was right. This is why it was not feeling right. And it was His Spirit that spoke to me. Like, this was just not right. I was really wanting to do it, but it was not according to the full instruction. So do not quench the Spirit on this one, and please don't keep the feast outside of the land, or even in the land, which is actually polluted, on a polluted calendar which He Himself took away, and rather wants you to enter into the work of the prophet, warning the people, everyone, to keep the 10 Commandments, to eat clean and to fulfill the royal law. But the heart of the fools is in the house of mirth. So that's in the house of feasting. That's the same word. So verse 5, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise, okay, than for a man to hear the song of fools. You see, it is better to go to rebuke to fulfill the royal law than to actually go and feast and give ear-tickling words, which mostly the Christian church is doing, but actually even the right is doing the same thing. It's literally doing the same thing. We're not yet in the peace. You know, there's no Shabbat Shalom, really. We're not yet in peace. We are in captivity. Everyone who's not in the land, in New Jerusalem, is in captivity. And we have been all given a task to proclaim the gospel, right? Which is the glad tidings, which is the refreshing of the covenant, which Peter is quoting in Acts 3, 19 to 26, Isaiah 28, 12, and direct quote from Peter as then Deuteronomy 18, 15 to 20. Now regarding the Sabbath, 16, okay. So, and they gathered it every morning. So they gather it every morning. Why? We start the day, like if we go to work, we start in the morning. We don't start at evening. And that's now how the day is also being reckoned. But we start actually in the morning. Now every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers, for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. Why? Because the next day, of course, will be the Sabbath, which is the 7th day. So how is it reckoned? We can see it here. And he said unto them, this is that which Jehovah hath said. Right? So let's actually read it again. So when the sun waxed hot, right? It melted, they stopped working, they came to Moses. And he said unto them, they start to gather, So they came to Moses, and he said unto them, this is that which Jehovah hath said. Tomorrow is the rest. Okay, that's the 7th day. He was speaking that on a Friday. He was speaking that on a Friday. Again, on a Friday. Then he said, tomorrow, which is the Saturday, it's the Sabbath, is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Jehovah. So, remaining of the day, bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe, which means boil, and that which remaineth lay up for you to be kept until the morning. Why? Because in the morning is the Sabbath day. He says it right there, tomorrow. It's morning. And they start to do so. They laid it up until the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. Okay? And Moses said, eat that today, right? Today, because it's a Sabbath day, it's a Saturday, morning started. For today is the Sabbath unto Jehovah. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. Okay? But some, and it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the seventh day to gather, and they found none. Okay? So, you can see here that the Sabbath actually starts literally in the morning and ends in the morning. Then we go to 19. 19. Here God is saying, so, and Jehovah said unto Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day Jehovah will come down in the sight of the people upon Mount Sinai. So on the third day, right, he will come upon Mount Sinai. So how is the day reckoned? So he says it here further, but I'll just not read it, but I'll just skip a bit more down. Okay. So, and Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed the clothes. And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. So he said that 3 days prior, by the way, so this is the key of David, is a 3-day sexual fast. So Thursday till Sunday morning. That's a 3-day sexual fast. Do not come at your wives. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning, okay, that there were thunders and lightning and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. Okay, and then further it says that Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. That's Horeb. So you can see here on the third day, that's when Jehovah will come down, and he came down on the third day in the morning. So that's how he reckons his day. So there's like the two proofs already, that first of all the day is reckoned in the morning. That is even like before the sun, actually. That is at the first light. But the day is being ruled by the sun nonetheless. And also the Sabbath then also is at actually dawn to dawn, not dusk to dusk. I believe that as well, because that was a custom that the Talmudic Jews did. Okay, The Talmudic Jews did it. And if you search Babylon's time reckoning, it is indeed literally evening to evening, night to night. But it is actually very clear that it starts in the morning. So I hope this has helped any of you ladies, and especially you, Elizabeth. I showed you the scriptures, so I just hope that this helped. And if there's like any other questions, please do reach out. And I just pray and hope that you actually will see this truth, that you again have been deceived. But if your heart is really poor and contrite, and you're really seeking to really follow the full instruction, and to be free actually from what the BHI has taught you, has taught me, has taught us, then please really just reach out, because we're just hoping for that. We're just looking for sheep. And I praise Jehovah that you reached out to me first, because that was just a sign for me to share with you this truth. Like nothing happens coincidence, really. Like nothing really happens. Like it's not a coincidence. I don't believe that. I'll send you to me. So this is then what I wanted to share with you, what he revealed to us.